So it's been, 1 week since Nurse Joyce has been out of the loop, which means you're ready for a comeback.
I am?
Well, if you've been gone for a heartbeat, that warrants coming back for a comeback.
I'm back then. Yeah.
She's back.
Comeback stage. Nurse Joyce.
Nurse Joyce. If you're just tuning in to our show for the first time, it's the K Area show with Nurse Joyce.
Yep, that's me.
And DJ Pirlo, and I'm also joined by
Supermatic. What's up, everybody?
Okay. So, what do we have for the show today, Supermatic?
All right, we have a couple of fun Daybach or Not segments. We'll be taking a look at the latest releases from BAP and SHINee, and then we'll be talking about some news making the rounds, mainly Big Bang's Top, and also the amazing milestones recently achieved by Twice.
All right, here we go.
What's the thing you're obsessed with these days?
K-pop. What is this, Korean pop music?
The Korean wave?
It's the K-wave, and it's washed over Asia for the last few years.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
The girls' generation.
A wave of supergroups with infectious hooks.
I'm really impressed. I'm speechless, really.
It's a global phenomenon.
사슴같이 예쁜 hun 나의 princess 나를 보고 비웃는 게 너무 시크해 모두 날 보게 너 지금부터 잘 지켜봐
And it's K Area, and we're going to take a look at BAP.
Best Absolute Perfect.
Best.
It's a terrible name, honestly, guys.
I don't know. It worked for like Calvin Klein. You know, I could see it like, several, like 3 different shots and like each, member being like best, absolute, perfect. And like they each, need to be shirtless and only wearing like a leather jacket and.
No, but we all got is a bunch of emo kids.
In bowl cuts.
And bowl cuts. Yep.
All right. So we're taking a look at BAP and their new song that I want to keep calling, what is it, Skyfall? But that's a Adele song. That's a 007 movie.
This one is called Skydive.
Skydive.
Free fall.
So, can we skydive? Can we free fall? Is it Daybach or not? Every week, we take a look at what is worth reviewing, what is worth looking at. And we critique it 1 in terms of its audio. We give it a 1 to 5 score, 5 being the highest for the audio, and 1 being the lowest.
We also take a look at the concept, which is pretty much what's going on in the music video, anything regarding choreography, the themes of the song, just pretty much what the entire idea is behind this latest comeback. And we also rate that on a 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being amazing.
Fantastic Elastic.
And then we rate it overall, whether it's Daebak or not.
And I think lately our reviews have been mixed. I think I'm usually in the not category, and then you guys are usually in the Daebak category. It's usually some permutation. So we keep things fair and balanced here on K Area. Let's kick it off for the audio.
Sure, let's get right to it.
All right, so I guess I'll go first. So I was listening to the instrumental of this song, and as I was listening to it, I kind of wanted to say it was cool because it had a string symphony. It was very episodic that way, but then it also has some like video game chip tune sounds in it. I don't know if you heard it, but for me, I noticed these things.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to say like it was video game like intro music, like when you're in the menus of a video game.
I can see that.
For like a first person shooter, it's like
It's Unreal Tournament 2016.
I actually thought it was pretty good. The breakdown for the song, or I guess it's in the bridge or the breakdown for the song, I really liked. So for me overall, I don't think it's that unique. I like how it's episodic. It's, again, something you hear in a video game, or like when a guy's like jumping over a bridge and there's an explosion behind him and everything is kind of going in slow motion. And someone's shouting, someone's saying no, like that's what I imagine for the song, and for that I like it. So I'm gonna give it a 3.999997.
So not quite a 4, but almost there.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. I like it a lot, at least for the audio.
Okay. Nurse Joyce, would you like to go next?
I didn't care for it too much, actually. I'm going to give it a 2.
Ouch.
Dang.
I'm sorry. Sorry, BAP. I don't know. I didn't like it. It was too video gamey.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it was kind of repetitive. I kind of like that the music video itself had like this sort of Latin choral thing in the beginning that kind of make it more epic. But I think the single itself, they don't actually include that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not in the album version.
That's like the only part I actually really liked about it, and it wasn't really part of the song. They kind of just threw it in for the music video.
Yeah.
But it was just repeating Skydive, free fall over and over and over again. So I don't know. Not my thing, guys.
I feel like you can like make a haiku out of all the Skydive free falls.
Skydive, free fall. Well, I think it would be a very... How long is a haiku? Can't be that long.
No.
This was long, guys. This was a long video, too.
10 minutes.
Yeah. What do you think of it, Matt?
All right. Well, for me, with the audio, I actually enjoyed it. I do like BAP's stuff. It was reminiscent to me of One Shot and Warrior and some of their other like stronger, more heavier tracks. I like the intro right away. It sets the tone. I mean, you hear them say skydive, free fall, and all that. It sets it right away, and it's got it comes in with this heavy guitar riff and synth. It takes a little while to build up, though, I will admit. Its intro is kind of slow before it finally hits its stride when it gets to the chorus, which is when it really picks up, and I'm like, oh, boom, yeah, there you go. That's what it is. The vocals themselves are very strong and powerful, I'll have to say. Mm-hmm. The rapping comes out really strong. Throughout the entire track, it just seems kind of like frenetic. To play off of what you were saying earlier, it makes you imagine like action movie soundtrack, which is pretty much in the same camp I'm in. I also really like that bridge breakdown part you're talking about. Yep. We hear this sound sample of like a aircom pilot being like, "Mayday, we're going down," and then
again, action movie or video game.
And then like one of the members, I can't tell who it is. Sorry, I'm not really able to distinguish the vocal sounds of the members, but I think it might be Jung-up. He's like comes in very strong with a "come with me," and then that countdown, which is like just super epic, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I really enjoyed that too.
But I will say the countdown is a lot more epic when you actually watch the music video to go with the dancing, and just listening to it, like I noticed that he wasn't even saying 5 properly. It was like 5.
well, I mean,
work on your English, guys.
Well, I cut them some slack in that department because I understand English is not their first language, but Overall, with the audio, I actually ended up giving it a 4 because I really like it a lot.
Okay.
I might have given it a higher score. The only reason I didn't is because, like I said, that slow beginning kind of takes a little while to get used to. If it was as strong as it was from the very beginning and it kept the same consistent pace, it might have possibly been a 5, I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Well, but you have to build tension before you get to, the part where they jump over the bridge or a car rolls over or they jump out of the airplane to skydive.
Yeah. But my audio score is a 4. Maybe if they included a little more, it might have been higher.
Okay.
Shall we go on to the concept next?
Sure. So the concept for Skydive, so kind of give you a little, they're trying to make it into a movie. So
Action movie.
action movie. Got these guys who are, I guess, hitmen. They're assassins. Took me a while to figure out how many members there were. For me, it's really hard to distinguish between the members because they all kind of like got a bowl cut and are emo looking. So yeah,
and it goes into black and white.
And it goes to black and white, and it's like, but I only can tell them apart by their hair. So yeah, that was a little confusing for me. But so in essence, I think one of the guys essentially frames the rest of the hitman, and the main character dude has his girlfriend killed. It was in essence very confusing. I had no clue what's going on. And trying to get these like baby-faced guys to be like convincing assassin gangster kind of like sketchy looking fellas. No, they still like look like baby-faced boys.
Yeah, I mean they have really nice skin, for having gone through a lot of like life and death situations.
And it was just a lot of like unnecessary shooting people in the face. Like it was just unnecessary gratuitous violence. And then
although they still managed to look best, absolute and perfect, even being shot in the head.
I know, it was like not just in the head, it was like in the face. It was like it's like, well, they just stuck a gun to his face. Okay. The ending was like basically, we discussed this. It was the remake of the one-shot video. Basically, everyone shoots everyone, and they've got a SWAT team in there, except this entire SWAT team, nobody apparently wore any kind of bulletproof vest. It was like the worst run SWAT team ever. They had no backup. And this guy, the one person wearing a bulletproof vest, walks away just fine. And you're like, if they only all wore bulletproof vests, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
And you're always carrying guns and you're hitman and you don't think, hey, no one's going to shoot me. And then, oh my gosh, everyone shot each other.
Well, they only needed one shot,
Well, not in this video. Evidently more than one shot was taken.
We got more shots, guys. Okay. So, yeah, they shot everything. So in terms of the concept, I thought it was just a confusing, weird bloodbath. I think there was supposed to be some more like shocking plot to it, but it just confused me, so I didn't even get it. I was like, huh, who's that guy? And I was like, guy with a star on his neck. Maybe I should have paid more attention to the guy on star on neck, but then I couldn't figure out which was which, and then I don't know.
So ladies, the moral of the story is don't date the guy with the star.
The tattoo star on the neck. That's a no.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, red flag. So yeah, I think there was supposed to be a total plot twist, but I was so confused by the story, and it was such a long video that it was like, man, I think a lot of things happened, but I'm not sure what. So for me, I'm gonna give the concept like a 2. I think the only redeeming factor was the dancing was pretty good.
Dancing was pretty awesome.
The boys these boys can dance. I give you that.
The best gangsters I've ever seen.
Dancing gangsters ever. So yeah, I'll give it a 2. All right, what do you guys think?
All right, so as we've established for me with this concept, I mean as Nurse Joyce alluded to it, that epic like Latin choral intro, the epic like chanting. Yeah, it's straight up action movie. It immediately reminds me of some of the previous work from BAP. As we've mentioned, there's One Shot, and also before One Shot, they had the Warrior MV and song. Following those trends, it's very violent and dark, and there's also a loose interpretation, at least for me, in this music video of the whole film noir genre, but it's like they try to set it in the modern day. I mean, their album is called Noir, so I guess that's the whole theme. Again, just like with One Shot, as we said, there's a familiar storyline of one of the group members being a betrayer. But I thought this one kind of did a good job of still managing to pull a twist, because it seems like it tries to give you one or maybe two red herrings as to who you think could be the betrayer. And I might have an unfair advantage here. I actually went and watched all the teasers for this MV as well. Oh. And all the teasers, because they had 6 teasers for each of the 6 members, and it showed each of them getting shot down, which was from the gunfight at the end. And each teaser ended with text that said, "Who is X?" So basically, X was the betrayer of the group. Oh. And the thing is that all these teasers showed the members getting shot through a sniper rifle. So it was an interesting, kind of a preface to the music video being released. So basically, we had to figure out who is X. And the main character, I guess he's the main character, which is Daehyun. That's his name. At the beginning, we see him with, I guess it's his girlfriend. It's not really made clear in the club. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's kidnapped, or so it seems. But yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns, needless to say, throughout this music video.
It's confusing, guys.
Yeah, there's the whole idea with the black and white versus the color scheme. I noticed it took me quite a few watches to really for it to stand out to me. A lot of the flashbacks and also key moments that happen that are like revelations or clues, they're the ones that happen in the black and white, while what is currently going on, or like the after effect, is set in color.
The color scene is what happens.
Yes. Like
after?
Most of the stuff that's in black and white is like flashbacks or key moments. It's like crucial things you need to pay attention to, or clues. Like,
I see.
Yes.
Guys, I watched this 10 times. I still don't understand it.
Yeah, because Daehyun, he ends up towards the end of the video piecing everything together, and we see a lot of key scenes. There's Youngjae stealing the money. Youngjae was actually the betrayer in the One Shot video, and the thing is, at the end of One Shot, he ended up being a cop. So a lot of people thought that maybe Youngjae was a betrayer in this one too, just because of precedent. But evidently that was not the case, as we found out. The climactic and bloody gunfight at the end, Daehyun shows up a little late because he gets a text message from an unknown number where it leads him to the location of his now dead girlfriend. Unfortunately, sad. Rest in peace.
In the trash of all places.
Yes.
It was just sad. And I was like, ugh.
But at the same time, very appropriate of the life of a hitman, or hit squad.
Yeah.
Jungkook actually is the one who, after the SWAT team and BAP have their bloody gunfight, Jungkook actually gets up, and we find out he's completely fine. He's unharmed. He's wearing a bulletproof vest, and this is the moment that tells us Jungkook is X. It's just very confusing, I will admit. I don't blame you, Nurse Joyce, for being what is going on.
Well, I mean, the biggest story incongruity in my mind is the one that Joyce pointed out, that these SWAT men, they go in, they're all wearing vests, but it's not good as the one vest that.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense. And I guess my biggest issue is I don't understand the motive. What is the reason for destroying all the other colleagues, I guess? Yeah,
that's not made very clear. I mean, we're not really given a reason why Jungkook would want to betray the group, because if we watch it a third or fourth time, knowing what we know, we see a quick glimpse of him making a deal with the SWAT team, but then at the same time, he ends up being the only one to walk away alive. So I guess in the end, he decided to play both sides, only for his own benefit, but we don't really know why.
I feel bad for Korean SWAT teams. I hope this is not a accurate representation of their ability to combat crime.
Let's hope not. But one thing I will say, though, that is a very strong, or that is a strength of this concept, Nurse Joyce alluded to it as well, the choreography. It's really dope. I tried to look into it, and I could not find who it was that choreographed this dance. I want to know, because being a dancer myself, for those who haven't tuned in before, I also am a dancer. I want to learn this piece. I'm waiting on a dance practice video. It's very strong. It's also reminiscent of One Shot to me, where it's strong and sharp, aggressive. It comes out with the energy, and I really like it. So this might surprise some people, but I actually ended up giving the concept an overall score of 4.5.
Okay.
I'll admit,
Good. That's really good for you.
the
Matt.
0.5 was from the slightly confusing story. Well, not slightly, the confusing storyline. But
Very
the
confusing.
thing is, I did a lot of research into it, and I probably watched this MV a lot because I really wanted to try and understand what's going on. So 4.5 for me on the concept.
Wow. You know, I was just thinking about this one and the other Daebak or not music video that we're reviewing today, and it's like, at what point do you draw the line between like being an easy to understand concept or a deliberately cryptic one that you kind of have to, you know, solve and piece together? And I think for casual K-pop fans it's hard, but it's good if you are a fan because it gives you more layers and more ways to dive into it. So I am a more casual K-pop fan, so for me it was very convoluted, and it made me kind of blur this together with just unfortunately a lot of other guy group music videos, because I feel like, you know, we're always seeing immaculate men doing gangster like things, and
That's fair.
And I was like, I don't know, I'm just kind of blurring this together with like Exo's Lotto, the other Daebak or not music video we're watching today, and just other, I don't know, things that we were seeing. So it didn't stand out to me.
Okay.
What did stand out to me were like the homoerotic moments where like, you know, it's like the one guy is shooting and this is in the flashback and he grabs him and then he grabs his
It's like
his
a knife
stick.
or a dagger or
Well,
something.
to me it looks like a stick, and he grabs his stick out, and
It's
then
a steak.
they get really close enough to kiss, and then he holds his stick up to his face, and then he walks away. And it's like, wow, that was very homoerotic. So yeah, to me, I that's all that's staying with me, and the cool mood lighting for their hangout. But yeah, it's like a 2.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah, for
That's
me,
fair.
I think there was such a missed opportunity here. You got a song called Skydive, you go free fall, and that just alludes to 007. And yet there's no falling in this music video. I mean, they could have jumped off of buildings, they
Well,
could have
they-
done spy things.
Yeah.
They could have like I don't know, there should have been planes. I mean,
They used all their post-production budget on the shooting gun scene, right, to make sure that their faces were best absolute perfect.
Maybe metaphorically they were skydiving.
I know,
don't
but the
know.
whole point is like you could have gone for a more literal, and it would have been super fun. So
I can see that.
I mean, it could have been pretty epic, spy movie kind of thing. I mean, the song's lyrics, from what I read, the English version didn't seem much to do with this music video at all. So I was like, you could have gone any way you wanted.
Which
So-
is surprisingly not out of the realm of K-pop.
Yeah. But I will say this: the dancing was pretty good. I really like the dancing. Yeah.
yeah.
So Daebak or not, guys?
I think it's easy for me, Daebak.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, BAP, not.
I'm so torn because I really do like the audio and the dancing, but just not liking the concept at all. So I shall go with. I'm gonna go with not.
I wish people could have a visual of the look on your face. You were thinking really hard on that one.
That was pretty rough decision you had to make there. It was like,
It's okay. I don't mind being the loner here.
All right, so that was it. That's what we thought. BAPS, Skydive, Skyfall, Skydive,
free fall.
Free Fall.
For those who don't know, Peter has been repeatedly referring to this song as Skyfall, no matter how much Nurse Joyce and I try our best to nicely correct him
For the
to
notes for this
Skydive.
episode, I kept accidentally writing Skyfall. And it's like, no, wrong.
Everybody already know, 8 shots and balls to the void. 끝없는 길 위에서 물러설 수는 없어. 흔들리지마. 혼돈의 시간 속에 나를 갖출 순 없어. 기회는 한 번뿐. only have less chance, you know.
Up next, shall I tell you what we shall do?
Tell me what to do.
Well, we will have a bunch of crucifixes and cross-like symbolism and female fandom fantasies. What did you guys think of this song? Starting with the audio. Supermatic.
Oh, okay. So for me, it's repetitive because Tell Me What to Do is literally heard like probably every 5 to 10 seconds throughout the song.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's catchy, definitely. I mean, it repeats over and over. Sometimes it's simply spoken / sung, and then other times it took me a second or a third listen, but there's backing vocals where there are whispers of it too. It's like the guys are singing Tell Me What to Do, but there's also backed by whispers of like, tell me what to do. So it was really interesting. When I noticed that, I was like, whoa, clever. It carries the message of the song pretty much like all throughout. And the funny thing to me that I found interesting, when I kept on listening to the song, I was like, this keeps bouncing back and forth between being a ballad and a dance track. And I can't really I can't really define like if it's one more so than the other. It's got acoustic guitar loops that repeat. There's presences of EDM kicks and snares. There's a consistent percussion, which is kind of like the heartbeat of the song that you hear throughout. The members of SHINee sing in higher keys during the chorus, but then like when they're singing each of their individual verses, it's kind of in like a lower, almost like melancholic tone, kind of like maybe a little more.
I wouldn't have noticed that unless you pointed that out. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I noticed that too. It's just when they sing for the verses, it's kind of like a, not necessarily monotone, but it's kind of like more of a, basically in a lower key. And then all of a sudden they come in the chorus and it's like, tell me what to do. And they're singing in higher keys, kind of like more hopeful. There's one part of the song that stuck out to me, especially like from the very beginning, which is towards the end. There's the rap break. And I'm admittedly not really too big of a fan of at least the first part of it, because not hating on, who is it? It's either Key or Onu, I can't remember which one, but basically one of the members starts the rap break because it's two of them, and it just felt kind of like it contrasted too much with the beat of the song. Like it felt out of place, like very off when I listened to it. Like the second member that does the rap break is perfectly on beat, like it matches to me. The first part I'm like, what are you doing? Are you even listening to the music?
Yeah.
But I went back and I actually looked at the English lyrics, which I unfortunately cannot remember entirely right now. I just do remember that when I looked at the English translation, it kind of made sense for the tone in which I'm going to say it was Onu was rapping. So even though I don't like that it's mismatched with the beat, I understood the lyrics, so I can't fault them too much for that. Overall, I actually ended up giving this a 3.5. I would have given it a 4. The only thing is that I just kind of wish it was a little more defined to me. Like, I like SHINee. They are definitely kings of K-pop. I love a lot of their songs. This one just doesn't seem to immediately come to mind when I think of SHINee, unfortunately. Like, I like it because it's an interesting mix, like I said, ballad dance track. But I just wish it was more immediately rememberable. Yeah. So that's why I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah. Well, I think 3.5 is still a pretty good score.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Sure.
All right. So you say it was memorable?
Like, it's not as memorable as I would have liked it to be.
Okay. I thought it was really forgettable. Honestly, like I had a hard time remembering. Like I listened to this. I did listen to it many times before the show today, and I was like, it was not staying with me other than just the chorus and their English phrase, and that was really it. It's a very, I get that it's trying to be a bit more mid-tempo, it's trying to match the darker, more somber tones of the concept, but it's not anything to stand out to me. So I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to give it a 2. I really didn't like it. Yeah, actually, two is too high. I would give it a 1.5.
Really?
Ooh,
Yeah.
dang.
Again, I think anything less than that, it would have to actually start making like really serious bad musical mistakes. I don't think it makes any of those faux pas, but it's a very blasé song, in my opinion.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry, that's it. So 1.5. The songs that SHINee has come out with better songs off of this very album, right? I mean, their 90s throwback song was
One of one.
101, which was a lot more memorable than this, and I actually like that. Like I was doing like the
The whole head bobbing, snapping.
and I'm not doing that. Well, you wouldn't do that to this sort of song, but it doesn't capture me the same way as their other hits have. So it's nothing on SHINee as a group, but this was just a big letdown, quite honestly.
I liked it.
Okay. Contrasting.
No, this reminded me of like my high school days with like the Backstreet Boys and Sync when they were like, you know, the emotional boy band ballad kind of power ballad kind of thing, and they're like, we're on the verge of a breakup and they're all emotional about it and they're trying to salvage this relationship. We don't know where we're gonna go from here. So
I can see that.
yeah, it was actually, I thought it was kind of emotional sounding song. Like it was kind of desperate. What are we doing? What are we gonna do next kind of thing? Or it's also kind of like what my husband says to me when I tell him to go do some chores. I'm used to hearing it a lot.
Tell me what to do.
Go clean a litter box. This was yesterday, honey. Go clean the litter box. And he was like, "Where are the bags?" And I realized I've never showed you where the bags were.
Yeah.
So now I tell you what to do. So I'm used to hearing that from a man, I guess.
This is a mantra.
So, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was well layered. It had some good harmonies going on. I don't know. I guess the fangirl in me enjoyed that. I like the sort of desperate man there. So,
So pro tip to all the K-pop boy groups out there: if you want Nurse Joyce to like your audio, be the desperate man.
I want the desperate man. I want to see your sensitive side. Show me your sensitive side right now. Yeah, so I would give it a 4. I really like this song.
Okay.
Okay.
Concept. I'll go into concept, I guess.
Okay, sure.
So, we saw a lot of crucifixes in throughout the whole dang thing, right? You know, it's in the logo in the beginning. It's on the girl's earring. It's in like the Jesus poses that they're making during the music video, and I just wasn't that intellectually curious to find out why they were doing that or what it means. But we were saying earlier, I guess this is supposed to be the fantasy of a dream girl and how she would live her life with each of the different guys.
Yeah, like 5 different perspectives.
Yeah.
I didn't even really see that. It was really kind of confusing to me too. Maybe I'm just not getting these music videos lately. But I guess I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was not obvious to me at all. Like I wasn't sure what was going on. I wasn't sure if it was just like a perpetual, like, you know, everyone wants to be with Bella and then, you know, everyone's fighting over her. But
that Twilight reference.
yeah. Yeah, so I sort of figured that out just reading about it online and us talking about it before the show today. So it's just showing you, you know, what options you've got, and just hope that you don't end up with the guy that forces you to go into the car that explodes.
So Minnow.
Yeah, what's with every K-pop video having a car that's burning?
Yeah.
Cars do not fare well in K-pop videos.
They're filled with like water or sand, or they appear in random places.
Or they just burn really easily.
Yeah, really explode. I mean, like, for me as a guy, like, I don't buy into this whole, like, oh, you know, I want all these guys jealous over me sort of thing. At least as a straight guy, that didn't really appeal to me. I don't know if that worked for you, Nurse Joyce, if that spoke to you. But for me, that's not really my thing. So for concept, for me, sorry, guys, I really didn't like this song, so I'm giving it a 2.
Why was that such a low whisper?
I don't want SHINee fans to hate me too much, so yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, you're looking at me.
Yeah, I want to
Okay. So I didn't like the music video either. I like the song. I really like the song, and I wanted to like the video, and I just don't understand it. And took me a while to figure out who all the guys were, and it was like almost like they all loved each other in the beginning. It was like, bro, and I like you, bro. And they're all hanging out, and they're like throwing furniture out of like this decrepit building that they're apparently living in. I guess they and Blackpink must be in the same kind of universe with this sort of dystopian thing that they had, like Blackpink had in Stay. That's the same sort of feel. Like they had the same sort of dystopian youth that are like left alone in this desolate land where nothing else is there except for this one car that they apparently burn. So, and then there's this girl, and I guess I didn't really see the whole different, I guess, realities. Yeah. Because she was actually not the star of it whatsoever. It was all focused on the guys. You barely saw her. You like saw her, okay, girl. Like you didn't really see her emote much of anything. And then there's...
Well, they don't want to make the actual fangirls too jealous.
Maybe. And like the whole like visual thing of it, I didn't love it either. I mean, sometimes they like would fight each other, then they would all like pose like Abercrombie models. All of a sudden, it's like stand there, pose.
But they're not Abercrombie models because they have to be naked.
That's true.
Unless we're talking about Abercrombie from 2 years ago, in which case they wouldn't even be Abercrombie because they're Asian.
Sing.
Yeah. So I didn't get the visual aspect of it. And the girl, I mean, if they really wanted to pull a stronger concept, like make it more distinct, I guess. And or even make her like wear a different outfit with each
just different
guy.
Again.
Yeah, so
Instagram filters. Guys. Yeah, it's just like different Instagram
they
filters
done
for
different filters.
Yeah,
that would have made it easier for me to understand what the heck was going on.
Different frames, maybe, you know, like, oh, this is in letterbox, or this is in this, you know, background color, or this, you know, I don't know. These are things that I like. Again, that I look for in K-pop music videos.
I mean, I don't get it, guys. I'm gonna.
Look, it goes back to that question that we started with. Like, how obvious do you want to make it for your fans?
I want it obvious.
I think for casuals, we want it obvious. But for the really zealous fans, like, they probably appreciate that.
I know there's, like, symbolism and stuff. I don't quite get it. There's, like, a lighter. There's fire. She's got a, like, freaking match in her mouth. I was like, that's got to be dangerous. Like...
Or hot.
Or hot, or I don't know. It's just like in her. It's not a cigarette. It's just like on fire, and it's a stick, and it's in her mouth. And I'm like, I don't understand this. And there's this one scene where like these levitating guns.
Oh,
I mean, are people even allowed to have guns in Korea? Is it like
he's Neo again? He's doing the Jesus pose, and he's able to control.
I don't know, but it was just like I don't understand this world. It doesn't make sense. It's clearly not fun, and I don't really think it even goes with the song. So I don't know. I don't like it. I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay,
Matt.
Okay. All right.
Give us the more serious fandom perspective, because Joyce and I, we've both been more of the amateur perspective, so we haven't gone as deep as probably you have.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because looking at this through the lens that I have, because I am such a K-pop geek fanatic and I followed SHINee for a while, I don't want to say I was let down by this concept as well, but I guess it just didn't live up to my expectations from what I had. Because I really, really liked the track that came out with before this, One of One. Like, because I guess it's a little personal bias. I'm a child of the 90s, and I grew up on New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and One of One pretty much like screamed of that to me. Tell Me What to Do is, as you said, it's kind of forgettable to me as far as the concept goes. I mean, the song is definitely worth a listen to, but...
I wouldn't even give it that, but go ahead.
Well, for me,
I liked it.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat with the both of you as far as the music video not being very clear. I was confused, especially after the first few times watching it, because I looked into it online, and apparently the idea of the song and the music video is that we're supposed to see 5 perspectives, because there's 5 members of SHINee, of a relationship with this girl. But when I watch the video, I only see like 2 perspectives, which is the girl and Minho, and then there's Taemin's view, which is a love triangle between Taemin, Minho, and unnamed girl. She doesn't even have a name. And there are random moments where like SHINee's just all hanging out with said love interest, and they're all laughing and stuff. Then all of a sudden Taemin pulls a gun out, which I guess karma gets him back later, because there's that scene where he's standing on the edge of a window with all the levitating guns in front of him. I wish there was more to that. Like, I feel like there should be something there or some kind of message, but it's not made clear, as you guys said.
Yeah.
I wish it was more obvious to us.
I mean, like, I will acknowledge that there could just be the very obvious possibility that maybe we're just dense and we don't get it. But, I mean, we watch a fair amount of K-pop.
Yeah, we do.
So I think we're kind of in the target market for this.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Or maybe
I don't think music video should be that complicated.
Yeah, true.
They should be entertainment.
Yeah, or you could go the BAP route and use your music video to be a mini movie. But one thing I will say that interested me about this, I did not notice this upon first watch, but as opposed to many of SHINee's other works, there's no choreography at all shown in this video. And listening to the music, I feel like there probably is choreography for this. The music video focused entirely on just the song and the like concept, and I guess what you can call a storyline or lack thereof. It's very bright and vibrant with the colors. And to me, that kind of suggested that maybe it was symbolic of like this conflict between happiness happiness and hope, like being hopeful, versus the sorrow that they're feeling. Because when you listen to this, to them saying like, tell me what to do, it's kind of like
optimism, the hope.
It's kind of like they're kind of hurting, which I also noticed, like the whole idea, we mentioned it earlier, with like fire. I feel like the fire is maybe thematic because, like, you know, fire, it burns, but yet like at the same time it can be beautiful. It's something that can be like attention catching, and sometimes you can't help yourself but look at it. Maybe that's fire. Like love, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Blackpink playing with fire.
I feel like there are a lot of songs about fire lately.
Yeah, definitely. 2016, the year of fire. But again, I'm in the same camp as you guys as far as this not being clear enough to warrant a higher score with me. I was tempted to give this at a 2.5, honestly, but I bumped it up to a 3 only because one thing I appreciate with music videos is how it can be like bright as far as the aesthetic goes, but that contrasts the message of the song, which is like sorrowful and kind of darker. I'm a sucker for that, admittedly. So that's why I gave this a 3.
A 3?
Would have been a 2.5, but
that's fair. Yeah. All right. So Daebak or not? Supermatic.
I barely gave it a Daebak. Barely, though.
Okay. Joyce?
I'm with Matt. I'm barely giving it a Daebak, but it's only because I like the song. I like My Men Desperate, so.
I'm learning a lot about Nurse Joyce through what she likes and dislikes about K-pop music videos. It's like, okay, she likes her Liberace's and her Desperate Men. I'm like, okay, what I'm learning through BTS and SHINee and whatnot. I'm going to give it a not Daebak. It wasn't obvious from my scores.
Expected.
Yeah. You know, but what is interesting to note is that what the song, at the time that we're recording this episode, the music video has been out for like 3 days, I think. 2 or 3 days. And it's already at 2,240,000 views.
Across 3 days?
Or 2 million.
That's not too bad.
200,000, yeah. So, I mean, I wonder how much of that is just inherited through being SHINee.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Like, I hope that I can eventually get there where, like, no matter what I do, I'll be famous. Like, you can just fart and people will love me. That's it for SHINee. We told them what they should do. Be more memorable.
Maybe stick to more just straight up dance tracks. Sorry, SHINee fans.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys were good.
The song may have been good, but the concept and the dance, I think, that's something to decide.
Yeah.
이건 너를 누가는 메시지 Turn it up now Turn it up now 인기나는 보스 나는 몽키 매직 쟤들한테 약올리는 메시지 Turn it up now Turn it up now
Up next, it's K-popularities and controversies. With a K? I don't know. This is us trying too hard to be witty and to have like thematic segments in the show. But what's going on in the world of K-popularities and controversies? Supermatic.
All right, so 2016 was the 10-year anniversary of another group that could be considered kings of K-pop, and we are, of course, talking about Big Bang.
I wasn't sure. I thought maybe we were talking about BTS.
Oh. Okay, well, longer-lasting groups, I guess, or what we call older gen.
They do have the crown, right, for their little fan sticks?
Yeah, that's true. They do have that. But the news surrounding Big Bang, or more like surrounding one of their members, which is Top, or T.O.P. I've been a fan of Big Bang for so long, and I still don't know whether it's correct to call him Top or just T.O.P. I go with both because I'm not sure. But anyway, with Top, he recently passed what's called a compulsory police exam, which is pretty much the screening test and exam that he had to pass in order to be, I guess, what's called like competent enough or
to be a policeman.
Well, it's called the police exam, but it's for the military. And as we know, the thing with Korea is that they have a mandatory minimum, I think, 2-year military enlistment that all of their men have to go through, which unfortunately includes K-pop idols. So there always is this like time window on these idols that us as fans get attached to, and that window is closing on Top. So basically the report is that no later than about March 2017, possibly April, T.O.P. will begin his mandatory 2-year enlistment because he has passed his exam now. He just has to handle all the other paperwork and fluff that comes with enlisting in the army. It's kind of sad for a lot of Big Bang fans, and Top being one of the most followed celebrities on Instagram, actually, which I did not know until I looked into it today. He has over
Instagram.
He has over 6 million followers on Instagram.
Wait, so does he like rival a lot of like Western?
Yes.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep, he's actually like he's not just one of the most followed K-pop idols or stars. He's one of the most followed like celebrities overall on Instagram.
Well,
over 6 million followers.
He is known for being pretty.
Yes,
and
exactly.
being like, I mean, he's someone who will totally half-ass the dance, and you don't even.
That's right. That's the running joke with Top.
It's okay because you're T.O.P. You're Top,
right?
That's fine.
Yeah. But the ripple effect that this is going to have is that this, like we saw it happen with Super Junior, we've seen it happen with other groups, is that Big Bang is going to be down a member. So most likely this will mean that there won't be any more activities from Big Bang as a group, which is kind of going to suck because I'm pretty sure like all of us collectively as K-pop fans can agree, as long as we've known K-pop, we've felt that presence of Big Bang. Like we're used to Big Bang being around. And that's not to say they won't be around, it's just that with Top going to the military now, this is going to change things because it's also kind of bittersweet considering the timing. As I said earlier, this was the 10-year anniversary of Big Bang. They came out with their movie, which was the Big Bang Made movie, and then they recently released their 10-year anniversary special album. And actually yesterday on YG's Instagram, they posted a teaser, not like a full-on music video teaser, but it's kind of like behind-the-scenes stuff of Big Bang filming their next music video. Because I think they are supposed to be coming out with a music video and song, basically having their comeback sometime before the end of this month, or at least next month, because they want to have one more promotion as Big Bang as a group. They feel like they owe it to their fans, so they're really aiming to get that out. And then Top's going to go off to the military, and then maybe the other members will pursue solo projects. We don't know. But yeah, I'm curious to maybe get the opinions of you guys as well as the people online. Like,
well, I'm curious. Have you heard too much about what the fan reactions have been to in light of this? I mean, everyone had to have seen this coming. Right?
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where like we knew it was coming, but then like now that it's here, people are still having a hard time accepting it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't look too much into it, but a lot of the collective reactions online is just a lot of fans being kind of sad because it's like, oh, we're going to miss you, Top. Like they've been sending him messages and stuff. They've been posting on his Instagram. All the online forums are talking about it. Reddit, where I saw everyone is like, oh man, this really sucks. Like it's actually happening now.
But it's only going to be 2 years.
Yeah, but then honestly, in the world of K-pop, especially with how fast like the genre overall is moving, 2 years can seem like an eternity.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Like I followed, Big Bang and TOP over the years, and I mean, it feels like it was, it was more than 2 years ago when we had, Monsta and Blue and everything off of that album.
Yeah, and then they followed that up.
2 years ago.
Yep, and then they followed that up in 2015 with Bang 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 and Loser and Baby, like the Made album pretty much.
Yeah. But I guess my point is that like these albums which didn't seem that long ago, and that we still that I will, as a DJ, will still play this day, like these are songs that will stay with us, and hopefully that legacy will carry on so that I'll be ready for him when he comes back.
I just don't know why people are treating it like a death or something.
Yeah, right?
I mean, he's not dying, guys. He's just doing his military service like everybody else. Because he's a Korean citizen. He's a South Korean citizen. That's what he has to do. So, I mean, and the other members have to go and do it at some point too, right?
Yeah,
so.
Actually, 2017 is going to see 3 of them, so more than half the group is going to start enlisting.
So, I mean, yeah, and for the guys, maybe it's a kind of a good hiatus for them to kind of have a different perspective. They've been entertainers constantly for the last 10 years. Maybe it's good for them to step out of the spotlight, serve their country, and kind of reevaluate things a little bit and come back better and stronger right after that. So,
and also, I mean, not only are they less under like the public scrutiny, like everyone like measuring their every move, but also just like for them not to have to think about putting out more work.
So I mean, if anything, this probably is good for them. I mean, no fun always being in the military.
Boot camp,
boot camp's no fun, but I think in terms of what they need to do to serve their country, this is what they have to do, and they'll do it. And they shouldn't get out of it just because they're idols. So. Yeah, I don't think. I think we're not. Somebody else is going to entertain us while they're gone, and when they're ready, they'll bring back something better. So.
Yeah. Like, that's the hope and optimism a lot of fans are having, especially, like, Big Bang fans in general, but then just K-pop fans overall are hoping that once all 5 members are done with their enlistment, then Big Bang will have a comeback, but it's kind of hard to tell because by the time that's done, when all 5 of them are done with their enlistment and they fulfilled their duties as citizens, all but, like, one of them is going to be in their 30s.
And, maybe it's time for a more mature group.
if there's any group to do it, like, I think Big Bang has the possibility, at least GOP.
Like, I'm not doubting them, just to clarify that. It's just that a lot of the discussion
I feel like they could be swag in their 40s. Like,
right? Just imagine Taeyong.
What is that? Those lyrics from that G-Dragon song? Swag.
Oh, yeah. Crayon. Yeah.
So I think it will be fine. I mean, and, they've already done this for like 10 years.
Yeah.
They had a good run. And if they don't come back, it's okay too. So.
Like, one thing that you can't deny is the fact that Big Bang has a legacy for sure. They've left behind such a legacy that if they pretty much call it a career after enlistment or due to enlistment, no, I don't think anyone can really fault them for that. Like, they have an amazing legacy already. They've made their mark on K-pop and pretty much, I think, in music overall, because Big Bang was one of the first groups to really achieve that crossover status. Like, they are known in the Western world. People know Big Bang. People know Taeyong, G-Dragon, Top. Like, they've had that success. They've hit it. Like, they don't really necessarily they don't have to do any more, but I feel like they've hit that point where they want to do it now to give back to their fans, which is one of the reasons why they're also working so hard with a limited schedule to film this new MV. And this surprised me when I read it online. They're coming out with an album soon, and this is going to be barely their 3rd full album. Now, they've released a lot of minis over the years.
And also a lot of sort of semi-duo single.
But this will barely be their 3rd full album with who knows, maybe 9-10 tracks. That's kind of crazy to think of when it comes to a
crunch that
group
out.
like Big Bang.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that fame, rides with them. Oh yeah, they've been high on the charts. to, keep getting knockout singles, but baby, it's not over tonight. We can't let them go home. But
Dad joke, Peter.
you're not a loser.
They'll be
They're
back,
still
baby.
alive.
They'll
They
be
won't-
back, baby.
Yeah, they'll be back, baby. It'll be fantastic, baby. So yeah, we like to party. We'll keep going for big bang, bang, bang. I was trying too hard to get too many song names.
At least we tried.
Okay. What else is going on in K-pop Supermatic?
Well, as a clever segue, Big Bang having been on top for so long and then being one of the older generation groups, now
Big
we
Bang
go
on
ahead-
top.
Now we'll go ahead and segue into one of the more newer rookie groups, actually a group that's barely been around for a year. It's interesting that we were just talking about Big Bang and mainly Peter dropping that Bang 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 reference because up until 2 days ago, Bang 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 held the record for the fastest K-pop group music video to hit 100 million views, which, as we've come to discover...
100 million!
Yes, this means 100 million views on YouTube, and in the world of K-pop, that's actually quite a milestone. It's an important achievement. Bang 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 by Big Bang had that record until 2 days ago with 232 days since the music video first premiered. That record is now held by none other than Twice with their music video. Yes, with their music video for Cheer Up, which barely came out in April of this year. And the new record is 206 days. And that's just kind of crazy to me, even though I am the once of the group. I'm probably like one of the resident onces in the Bay Area. I love Twice. I'll put it out there for first-time listeners to K Area or even previous listeners who may not remember. I'm Twice trash, plain and simple. It's just amazing to me, though, because they've only been around for, a year and some change. They debuted in October of 2015, and they've only come out really with 3 music videos, Like Ooh Ah, Cheer Up, and TT, which they just came out with last month. And for Like Ooh Ah and Cheer Up to both have recently hit 100 million views, plus the fact that Twice now holds the record for doing it the fastest as a K-pop group, it's kind of crazy to me. Like, it's amazing. And TT literally came out probably about 3 weeks ago to at the most a month, and it's already past the 50 million mark. So who knows how soon that will hit 100 million.
Well, we've got a theory, right? We were talking about this as we were heading over to record this show. Of all of the JYP groups, Twice and each of their singles do not have JYP.
Oh, the Notorious Whisper.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Maybe JYP was, deliberately handicapping his groups, and he's like, it's time to set these girls free.
I don't know.
Influence.
I feel like JYP is the kind of guy who would want all of his artists to do very well.
Yeah.
I feel like these girls were really well promoted, though.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
were really well promoted.
And is this because of the 16 show, or is it something else?
I mean, the 16 show, all their music videos are really good and really strong concepts.
Yeah.
And so the other groups kind of like pale in comparison. Everything they've put out has been really strong. So, of course, yeah, I can see why fans love them.
Yeah.
They're consistent. They always give a good product. So,
I mean, I'm trying to think like how I describe what makes them stand out with their music videos.
They really know how to highlight the girls.
I see.
That's
No, you always know.
And they each have their own character.
They all have their own character. They all have their own personality, and they highlight in a way that you would remember them.
Yeah.
So-
Including main visual, who just kind of sits there and...
She doesn't just sit there.
Wait, are you talking about Tsuyu?
Yes,
Or
of course.
Tsuyu?
Yeah.
Ah, come on, Peter. She doesn't just sit there. What are you talking about?
Well,
Hey, Taiwanese representing here. Got to give her props for that. You remember them. They're visually. I like that they look different from each other, so you remember what they look like.
Yeah.
They haven't had their faces cut up yet. I think they still look the same from when they debuted. Okay. So like none of them appear to have had like. If you look some other groups, you look at Girls' Generation stuff. It's like, wow, her nose changed. Like
just matured as artists.
Matured as artists, but her nose got smaller. Like,
yeah. Points up now.
yeah, and her nose is pointing in a different direction all of a sudden. So the girls, they let them keep their own character, and I think that authenticity kind of shines. You don't get that so much from a lot of the other K-pop groups. Like, they don't let the girls be individuals.
Or let that character.
Yeah, let that character
person
shine. And
at least they do. I think a lot of labels will do this very deliberately. They try pushing their stars onto all these daytime game shows and stuff, so that you can see that you can build up like, oh, I remember these characters for these cute mannerisms that they each have.
Yeah.
But this seems to carry over into the music videos themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, they really play up each of the girls' strong points in these music videos. And so you remember it's like, oh, she played this character. Oh, she was this. They give them characters. So you remember what they look like, what they did, even though there's 9 of them. And most of the time when there are too many members, I get confused. I can't remember which one's which.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I don't know if that's just because like this is a group that I like that I'm able to remember it, or is it
I don't
just that good?
I don't see it in other groups as much. They don't do the separation concept for each girl. So even though they may have a different look or something, they may not be doing something. And also like for TT, they each got like these little individual teaser videos. Yeah. So they highlight each girl like very strongly. They treat each girl like she's a star of her own, and they kind of promote each one slightly differently.
Yeah. Is that unique, Supermatic? I mean, like you mentioned, like with BAP, each one of them got their own intro. But is that something that we're starting to see more often, or is it just with fewer groups like Twice, BAP?
Well, I mean, I don't want to commit any fallacies here, but I have to pretty much mostly agree with Nurse Joyce. Like, I can't really think of any other groups in recent history, or at least like maybe even throughout my whole time of being a K-pop fan, which goes all the way back to 2009. Twice is really hitting the mark as far as promotion goes. I mean, I got to agree with Nurse Joyce that JYP does a really good job of promoting them well. I mean, the fact that there's 9 members, but also I think one of the things that helps them stand out with the 9 members is the fact that there's a little something for everybody. They can appeal to a wide array of fan bases because you've got 5 Korean girls, 3 Japanese girls, and 1 Taiwanese girl. And plus the fact that they're all like, as Nurse Joyce said, they all have different characteristics. They hit different ends of the spectrum. They all pretty much are able to appeal to a different kind of fan, like maybe not just even a K-pop fan.
I think that's usually by design with a lot of these K-pop groups. They deliberately try pulling in different members just to round it out for those reasons.
I don't think it's even that. I like all of them because they're different from each other.
Yeah.
I like that they didn't throw a bunch of girls, make them look identical, make sure they were the same height, and make sure they were the same weight or whatever. I mean, these girls, they got a little something different about each one. I mean, and they don't all look alike. That helps too.
Well, playing off of that, though, I mean, one thing I did want to also bring up with you two as another point of discussion is that one of the criticisms I've seen of Twice, because, like, yes, I may be Twice trash, but I pay attention to all of the comments, like, even the criticisms, because I want to know, like, what is it that the anti-fans, or, like, maybe they're not antis, but just people who aren't necessarily big on Twice, like, why is it that they're not fans? And one of the common criticisms or critiques that I see is, like, oh, well, they look good, but they can't sing. Oh, Twice is just more looks for no talent. Is like, what's your guys' take on that?
I think the girls are very talented. I mean, they got to the point of being put into a group because they work so hard at it,
Right.
and they can hold a tune. Like, if you couldn't hold a tune and you had to sing live, it is hard. So you can't hide that.
And again, like I guess what I'm saying is, like, as we're looking at each of these aspects of what might be unique about Twice versus other K-pop groups, like, I don't deny that this is non-unique. Like, we do see a lot of talent in other K-pop groups, but it's just
I don't
either
think
the
they're more-
concept isn't sold well, or a poor audio production that you don't get to ride that popularity wave. And you can do a really good job as an idol, but based off of the group or the concept that you're cast in, it may not perform as well. So I think I don't deny that other K-pop idols and groups are also talented, but I think they definitely passed the mark.
Yeah, I think
with
they
Twice.
passed the mark. I don't think, honestly, none of the girls have amazing vocal ability. They're not Ailey or anybody like that.
Right.
And I think in a way that works well in a group. You don't want one girl outshining. You don't want the Hannah to outshine everyone, basically.
Yeah.
And
that's becoming CL lately.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
CL, I mean, usually a lot of times with these girl groups, there's a few of them that outshine each other. And I think in Twice, I mean, they're all very good, but none of them are really outshining each other. They're kind of equal, and maybe they're not amazing as CL or Hyuna or whatever. They don't really have that superstar quality, but they work well as a group.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if that changes over time, because
Yeah.
I do wonder if as they grow and as they develop, they'll start to
they're
be
all
able
really
to,
young. So,
Yep.
I mean, maybe when they're slightly older and they might get pulled out for something solo, or even, when they break them up into smaller groups.
Yeah.
But I think they've done such a good job promoting them together that they don't need to break them up into smaller groups like they do with AOA when they
after school.
after school. I mean, when they feel like they have to kind of pull out people they think are stronger and can put out a better hit.
Sell more records.
So,
Yeah.
sell more records. So here they've been so successful with all 9 together, which is with every song they've put out. That's kind of rare.
They've also been able to overcome controversy as well, right? So we had the Tsuyu scandal
Oh yeah.
earlier this year, and it's it seems like you even forgot about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it pretty much, to me, in the first place, I don't really think that should have been as big as an issue as it was.
Well, it's just the case with many scandals, but yeah.
But I mean, I also can't deny, I feel like that actually brought a lot of mainstream attention to Twice, because
So any press is good press.
right.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's I think it was just brought out an issue of what is going on in Taiwan right now.
Mhm.
And then what the mainland feels about that. So, I mean, she's entitled to her own opinions, even though her company does not allow her to have opinions. So, it was kind of sad what they did to her.
The apology video.
Yeah,
I
the
remember
apology
that.
video was just
Yeah.
Maybe just a really quick background. Super Matt, you want to give a background for our listeners who are not
Okay,
familiar?
so for those who may not know, there was a controversy shortly after Twice came out, and it was kind of in the middle of their UA promotions. And Twice appeared on a show, I don't even remember what show it was, but Tsuyu, the youngest member of the group, and the Taiwanese
visual.
member, the visual of the group, she was seen in one of the shots holding a Taiwanese flag, and she basically got called out by some Chinese dude. I don't even remember who the heck
Yeah,
it was, but he was
that's
some sort of pseudo celebrity or whatnot. He accused Tsuyu of being like a conspirator or whatever they call that. And it was just basically this controversy that, Tsuyu's not accepting her actual like
She,
like,
in other words,
like Taiwan and China are not separated. Like she's promoting Taiwanese independence and stuff. She's a traitor, And it got so bad that JYP actually forced her to do an apology video. I mean, if you watch the video, which is hard to watch, you can tell that she's doing it under duress. Like, I wonder if any of that apology was even genuine because she was doing it under such scrutiny and pressure.
You know it's not genuine.
Yeah.
Because, like, she's crying, trying to apologize.
Yeah.
She's 16 years old.
That too.
And she comes from a family who wants independence.
Yeah.
And that's a very common opinion in Taiwan, who do not like to be oppressed by the People's Republic of China. So, I understand that feeling. My parents are from Taiwan, so, and they're dual citizens, and I'm sure they don't really want anything to do with the mainland, but they also don't want to be bombed by them. So it's kind of a tough situation.
Yeah, it's a walking on eggshells topic.
But they overcame it.
Yes.
And we're here now, and they're at they're the queens of K-pop, right? I mean, is there anyone else? When do the Mama Awards occur? Is that right now?
Within a couple of weeks, if not sooner, I think.
Okay. So, I mean, we'll see who wins for...
Yeah. Honestly, when it comes to the Mama Awards, I feel like Twice is definitely a front runner. Like, when it comes to girl groups, I have to give the edge to Twice, and then boy groups, I'll probably give the edge to BTS.
Well, who would contest the throne with Twice?
The closest groups I can think of would probably be either G-Friend or Red Velvet, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Red Velvet's great, but are they as strong as Twice? I think a lot of people would be challenged to say that.
Yeah. I mean, what else did Red Velvet put out? Russian Roulette this year. What else did they put out?
Before Russian Roulette, I don't know if they came out with anything this year, because the last thing I remember after Russian Roulette was, what was it, Dum Dum? Or One of These Nights?
That was a while ago, so...
Yeah.
There's also Wonder Girls, right?
I don't know, though. It's kind of hard.
I mean, that was a good song by Wonder Girls.
They had
Wonder Girls, but I mean, it wasn't...
They had one good song.
Yeah, and the only reason why I'd even put them up there is just because, you know, they're the Wonder Girls. They're the original, like, 2008, 2009, like, K-pop girl group that came over that would even come close to contesting Twice, so...
Yeah, but if we're talking, like, in terms of fan support, though, unfortunately, Wonder Girls fan support did take a hit when they tried and failed a U.S. venture.
Yeah. Girls' Generation, was that 2016 or was that 2015?
Their last album was 2015. 2016 was kind of... Or, like... end of 2015 and 2016 has mostly been like solo adventures, because 2016 saw Taeyeon, Tiffany, and formerly SNSD Jessica all release like solo albums and stuff.
Yeah, so I guess it's fairly hands down for Twice then. I mean, I really can't think of anyone else who would come close to contesting it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're going to pretty much just sum it up, I mean, Twice is hitting amazing milestones for having been officially a group for, 13, 14 months only. And I guess the only question on my mind, as well as maybe everyone else's minds, I'll pose it to you two, is like, do you think that they're hitting so much success right now that eventually they're going to hit a wall and fall, or do you think they're just going to keep on going up?
I'm trying to imagine, like, you know, what could possibly go wrong. Like, let's say they put out another single, right, that it's either too recycled in terms of like stuff that we've already seen, or it's just a flop and just a really bad song. I think they would probably still carry through it.
I think that as long as they keep working with really good producers, I think they've been really lucky.
Papa JYP.
Yeah, Papa JYP's put out some good stuff and really strong stuff that really work to their strengths. So I think as long as they're able to continue, I mean, whoever does like their artistic direction for like their music videos,
it's very refreshing.
It's always very new, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen anything like this before. This is really different, and it's really memorable for me. Like both for UA, for Cheer Up, for TT, I was like, I don't know any other video that reminds me of this. Like, this is really cool.
It's outside the SM box.
Yep.
Yes. So I mean, it's different. How they can keep like outdoing themselves, I don't know.
I guess we'll just wait and see then.
Yeah. I mean, at some point they're gonna put out a song that's just gonna not be as good as the others.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I felt that way with TT.
yeah.
But how much money do they pay into? Do we know? Oh, we're probably not privy to those figures.
I have no idea.
Because I mean, it's a fair question. Like, how much money are they sinking into producing these concepts, these music videos, these songs versus other K-pop groups and other music videos? It's like, do they cost as much?
Well, whatever they're spending, I'm pretty sure they're making back.
Okay.
I think they're doing well, and honestly, I don't think they pay the girls much.
Yeah.
So the talent's cheap.
Okay. Well, shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, everyone, this week for tuning in and listening to us ramble about our love of K-pop.
Yeah, I think that this episode ended up being a lot longer than we thought it would be. I think we thought it was going to be a lot shorter, just given 2 Daebak or not, and 1 K-popularity and controversy section. But while you're listening to us on K Area, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting service, be it iTunes, be it Stitcher, be it Google All Access, be it whatever. We're also on spinkpop.net. I think we should probably change our domain name soon if we're going to keep this going. And we are also going to be doing several fun year-end segments in, in the next couple episodes. So if you were looking at getting the best of 2016, so if you have a topic you want to propose to us, right now we're looking at really quirky, funny topics to categorize the best of 2016.
Basically, something to help us differentiate from like Mama Awards or the Asian Music Awards. We don't want to be just another award show.
Yeah,
we want to do something unique.
Yeah, so an example category, and Supermatic, you came up with this, is
best use of an animatronic or stuffed animal.
Yeah, and obviously contestants for that are EXO Dancing King,
the teddy bear from G Friends Rough.
Yeah, and Saxophone Cat, man.
Yes.
Cat.
That's a tough one, guys.
Yeah. So if you have other categories like that, maybe Most Fantastic Elastic English Lyrics, let us know what you want to see, and we'll rate it, and we'll look back on what was the best, most Daebak of 2016. So keep it locked. We'll be back again probably in a week or two.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Bye.
Oh, one last thing. We're also on the Twitters.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, be sure to follow us there. Or you don't have to follow us, but if you just want to give us your raw thoughts on, yo, that sucked. Or, hey, stop talking about this, talk about this. Let us know. I'm at DJ Peter Lowe.
I'm at Supermatic with an O.
I'm at Nurse_Joyce. But I don't really use this Twitter, so
you'll have to harass her.
Oh,
be
no.
Like, hey, why aren't you on Twitter enough?
I don't know. I don't know how to do this.
All right. So we'll catch you again on the flip side. It's hashtag K Area. That's KAREA.